So I go up on stage, nobody there, just my friends, the musicians, and I go check mic, test, and I get all sweaty.
Yeah.
So I ran lights and sound for Jerry Lee Lewis, Rick Nelson, the Platters, the Fifth Dimension.
Wow.
Then I started co-hosting on radio. And one day I come to work and the whole theater's on fire.
Yeah.
And then it got hacked and stolen. My old channel got shut down and I had to start all over again.
Okay, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the streets of Dumaguete, and today I'm with Mark, who from Every Man Has a Story. And Mark was nice enough. We're at his compound here, and he picked me up, and we just did an interview ourselves. So thanks for being on the channel, Mark.
My pleasure. Yeah. Enjoy it.
I was just on Mark's channel, and I guess we're gonna basically do the same thing. So you were born in Missouri or St. Louis?
No. Well, I was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, but we moved to Cincinnati when I was like 3 years old, and grew up in Cincinnati. Went to the University of Cincinnati, didn't graduate, dropped out, and went to work at a record company as an assistant A&R director, and started doing rock bands in Cincinnati and traveling around. And then from there, did dinner theater for many years and ended up on cruise ships after that.
Okay, yeah. So I remember because you said, so you're saying you were doing the theater before, and then you were doing that. Weren't you selling stuff on the cruise ships?
Well, that was way later on in my career. I did that.
So you were always in the theater industry, basically.
Always in entertainment. Always entertainment from college.
So what was it? Because you have the kind of like producer, like vibe, you know, like what was it? What were you doing? Were you in acting? Were you?
I did everything. I've done acting. I've done commercials and stuff. But basically, what happened was I needed a summer job when I was in university. I was like my freshman year. And I looked in the newspaper. Back then, that's where you found your jobs, is in the newspaper. And I see a job that says Assistant A&R Director for Urge Records, record company.
Okay.
And Ray Stevens was a famous singer back in the 60s. He owned the record company. So I go down there. I had my little blue blazer my dad bought me, and my one little striped tie that I had. And I had my resume, like worked at Arby's, worked at a fan factory, you know, no shit jobs. Go down there and it's this real swanky office, you know, with a sexy secretary and glass and mirrors and gold records on the wall and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously have no qualifications at all to work there. But the guy's nice enough. He brings me in there, and Ray Stevens, he brings me in there, sits me down, he's got this big glass desk, and interviews me, you know. And I realized I got no shot at getting this job. And I turned to him after he was done. I said, look, I really want to work here. I really, really want to work here. I know I've got no experience, no skills that you need at all, but I really want to work here. So tell you what, I'll work here for free. I'll work for free. Whatever you want me to do, I don't care, I'll do it. He said, really, you would work here for free? Yeah, for free. I got a job at UPS, you know, loading trucks, so when I'm not there, I'll be here working for you. He goes, okay, come in Monday morning. So I came in Monday morning, and I take tapes to record company or to radio stations and run errands, photocopy stuff, whatever they needed me to do. But I was there, and got to meet all the singers and the bands and stuff and I'd go to. We have different performances where our bands would play different clubs around Cincinnati, and I'd go there with the bands and help them set up. And I was real shy there on microphones. Like you'd go to a club with this one band, Ice. I worked for them for a lot, and we go to a club and they'd set up all the equipment. Nobody's in there. And they say, Mark, would you go test the microphones? And so I go up on stage, nobody there, just my friends, the musicians, and I go check mic, test, and I get all sweaty. Just doing that, all nervous, just saying check on a microphone.
Yeah.
And one day we had a contest, Battle of the Bands, where we were giving away a free recording contract to a local band in Cincinnati. And the idea was all these local garage bands were going to compete, and they were going to have a concert downtown at the Riverfront Stadium, and whoever the band won was going to get a recording contract. And so that day, it was like a Saturday afternoon, and we were expecting like maybe 100 people to show up. And so because it was such a small little thing, the guys from the record company, they never showed up. My boss never showed up. It was just me. And there was a radio station that was promoting, I forget what station it was. And so we're there, and instead of a few hundred people, like 20,000 people showed up. 20,000. And it's like packed, the whole area in front of the river there is all packed with people. And it's getting ready to start the event. It's all hectic and stuff. We're going to play, one band was going to play for like 20 minutes, and another band, then to give away the contract. And so they go, well, Mark, nobody's here from Urge Records. You have to go out there and MC this event. I go, what? And that's what the radio station's done. I'm thinking, why don't you go? You're in the radio business.
Yeah.
They said, man, you got to do it. You're the record company. You're giving away the contract. You got to get out there. And I'm like, my heart's just pounding through my chest. I go, how can I possibly do this, you know? How can I possibly do this? I'm like scared to say check on a microphone. But I had to do it. So I take a microphone, walk out there on stage. There's 20,000 people. Pick up the microphone and I go, do you want to rock and roll? 20,000 people go, yeah. You want to rock and roll? Yeah. And I got over my stage fright and went on and been talking on stage in front of people ever since.
Wow. Dang, that must have been, so that first time you must have been like a drug almost, right?
Yeah, it was really,
like
well, if you ever been on stage, you get a shot of adrenaline from the audience, you know,
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So were you on the radio at one point? Or
Yeah,
no?
what happened was,
Like I
this is
saw-
way later. This is after cruise ships and everything. And I did go back to ships one more time after this, but I was selling cars. This is after I had my heart surgery. And I'm in my, like 60 years old, I guess, at the time. Again, looking at the newspaper for something to do. And I see it was internship for a radio station, Dr. Stan Frager show.
Oh, okay.
And he's an intern, you know, again, another non-paying job.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like Sunday show from 8 to 10 at night every Sunday. And I said, well, I'm always interested in radio, so I'm going to go down there and find out about it. So I go to the radio station, and Dr. Frager has a syndicated show that was on every Sunday night from 8 to 10, been on the air for 10, 15 years, syndicated. He was the staff psychologist of the University of Louisville.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know, a real famous guy around town. Anyway, there's like 10 other college kids that show up in their 20s, and they're to be an intern to get credit for their, you know, their degree.
Yeah.
To work at a radio station. And they're not very enthusiastic about it. They just want to get their, you know, put in their hours to get him to sign their internship thing, and that's it. And he sees me, he goes, what do you want to do this for? So I'm just interested in radio. I'd like to learn, you know. So anyway, he hires me on as an intern. The rest of the people all drop off eventually. They don't show up to work, and they, you know, different reasons they don't come in.
Yeah.
And so I ended up being the executive producer of the Dr. Stan Frager show for like 2 years. I picked all the guests that came on the show. I booked them all. I wrote all the questions. Then I started co-hosting on radio.
Wow.
So he'd be sitting across from me just like we are, and we both have microphones, and we'd be talking. Our guests would always be online, or not online, but on their phone.
Oh.
And so it'd be a call-in guest. They wrote a book or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we talk to them, and I would try and find. It was always about psychology, like PTSD or marriage problems or whatever, because that was his specialty. And I tried to steer the show into things that were interested to me, like past lives and reincarnation. And I found a lady. She wrote a book called Dr. Lori Nadell. She wrote a book about reincarnation. She was a professor at Harvard Medical School.
Yeah.
And I got her on the show, and so I'm talking to her, and it's really interesting to me, and did things like that. And then I ended up going back on ships for a while after that.
Wow. So what did you like better, the theater stuff or the radio business?
I like radio too, but I love theater a lot. That was my first love, because I worked for the bands. And again, not hardly making any money at all. I was setting up bands and stuff, and because the record company wasn't paying me.
Yeah.
Started setting up bands, local bands, like basically being a roadie, really is what I was. And, you know, they'd buy you breakfast or give you a few bucks here and there. We weren't making any money. And my mother lived in Kentucky at the time, in Louisville, in Simpsonville. And there was a dinner theater called the Biff and Board's Dinner Theater. And my mom said, why don't you go out there and try and get a job? I said, Mom, that's theater. I don't know anything about theater. I just know how to set up bands and stuff. Well, just go out there anyway. I said, okay. So I drove all the way out there. And I said, well, I'm a stagehand. And they just so happened, they said, yeah, we're hiring. It was minimum wage. And they sent me out to, there's a big barn, and that's where they built the sets. So it's like easy construction, building sets for the shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I did that. And the stage manager was kind of a lazy guy, wasn't very interested in his job and stuff. And so after like 3 months, they fired him and made me production stage manager with Union, Actors Equity Association. You know, really good paying job. And so I ran lights and sound for Jerry Lee Lewis, Rick Nelson, the Platters, the Fifth Dimension.
Wow.
You know,
the Platters, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I did that.
Was that when your heart's on fire, smoke gets in your eye?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
that's
Blood,
what
Sweat, and Tears, all these bands.
Yeah.
And then I did a bunch of plays too, like Fiddler on the Roof and South Pacific. And
Wow.
and then I just started touring around America, working at different, that theater closed. So I would go around the country, you know, you get hired, send them resumes, and just drive to another state and take over as stage manager.
Wow. Wow. So then after that, what age were you then when you started that? Did you go right into the
In my 20s.
in your 20s? So did you go right into the cruise ship industry?
No. What happened was I'd worked at probably 5 or 6 dinner theaters. This is back in the 70s, late 70s. And dinner theaters were popular for a while. It's where you went and you saw a show and had dinner, a buffet and stuff.
Okay.
And then watched the show. And they were real popular for a while, but they were starting to fade out.
Okay.
And there was less and less of them to work at. And I was at a theater called the Barn Dinner Theater in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we were doing Fiddler on the Roof. And this girl that was in the orchestra playing the violin, got to be friends with her, this lady. And she worked on the QE too before, you know. So we started talking. And I said, "Oh, you really worked on a cruise ship? Wow." And I said, "Do they have stage managers on cruise ships?" He says, "Yeah, every ship has stage managers, sometimes 2 or 3." And a light went off my head. I said, "Wow, that's what I want to do. That's what I want."
Yeah.
And so I went to a travel agent in Greensboro, and they have all the little brochures, and looked at all the brochures, and I found Royal Viking had the coolest ships and the coolest cruises. Like a little book, it showed you every day what country they were in and where they were going. They only had 4 ships. And I found out, I forget how I did it, but I found out, maybe there was no internet back then. I found out where the entertainment office was. It was in San Francisco. Found the address. I found out who the director of entertainment was for the cruise line. And I started sending resumes and letters every month, for like 2 years.
Wow.
Every month. Trying to get a job there, trying to get a job there. And then I started calling up on the phone. I would call up and say, "Hi, it's Mark, is John in?" Like I knew him.
Yeah.
And every once in a while they'd make a mistake and they would put me through.
Yeah.
And I'd say, "Hey, it's Mark Thornton, just seeing if you need any stage managers." "Mark, I told you, if I need somebody, I'll call you.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I got your phone number, I got a stack of your resumes, a foot high. If I need you, I'll let you know. You know, quit bothering me."
Yeah.
It's okay. So I was working at another theater in New Mexico, and one day I come to work and the whole theater's on fire. Burned to the ground. My whole theater's on fire. And they were giving, all these jobs came with an apartment. I always had an apartment, came with a job, a free apartment. And so I'm going to lose my apartment because I've got, you know, no job, no theater. My phone's about to be cut off. No cell phones back then.
Yeah.
You know, what am I going to do? So I'll call Royal Viking. Called up Royal Viking, got through to him. "Hey, it's Mark. You need stage managers?" He gets real quiet. He says, "One of our guys fell down and hurt his back." He goes, "Can you be in San Francisco on Wednesday for an interview?" "Yeah, sure, no problem."
Yeah.
How the hell am I going to get to San Francisco for an interview? So I scraped together enough money for a round trip ticket, same day.
Oh, wow.
And so I flew from Albuquerque, New Mexico to San Francisco. I got there, had no money for a bus, a taxi, nothing.
Wow.
And I'm at the airport and I noticed these shuttle buses going back and forth to hotels. And I looked on a map and I saw that where the office was for Royal Viking was where like the Hyatt Hotel was. So I got on the Hyatt shuttle bus, you know, just like I was staying there.
Yeah.
And got my ride downtown, went to the interview. And he said, "Well, what we need is a assistant stage manager / projectionist. We got a movie theater on board and we show 35 millimeter, 16 millimeter movies. Plus we set up, you know, we do lectures, microphones, slide projectors. You know how to run a movie theater. I mean, a movie projector." "Oh, yeah, I did that in high school." I never won one in my life. And so anyway, they hired me. And then from then on, they flew me everywhere. They flew me to New York for my physical and for everything, and then flew me somewhere in South America to get on the ship.
Oh, Dion. Wow. So how long after that did you start? Was it like a few months?
Oh,
or
right
pretty much
away.
Right away?
It went real quick.
So you were happy then, huh?
Oh, I was thrilled,
thank
yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I show up on the ship, and well, first they sent me to New York for you have to get a physical to go on a ship and be, you know, certified you're healthy. And so they sent me a really nice doctor's office in Manhattan, like really first class.
Yeah.
And I'm there, you know, and they're giving me the physical, and they're really nice. They give me like cups of coffee and donuts and stuff. And when the physical's all over, the nurse said, "Well, Mr. Thornton, good luck with your election." I go, "My election?" I'm like 22 years old. I go, "Election? What election?" And the same day, the same hospital, there was a guy named Mark Thornton who was running for like Attorney General or something in New York City in Manhattan. And he was supposed to have a doctor's appointment. He didn't show up. And they thought I was the Mark Thornton. So I still got my physical and stuff, but they were giving me first class treatment because they thought I was this guy, you know. How they would think a young guy like me, because when I was 22, I looked like 19. But anyway, so then they flew me to the ship. which is in South America. I think it was in Curacao. I didn't know where that was when I was going.
Oh, Curacao, yeah.
And I get there, and they show me the projection booth. The guy I'm taking over, I had 1 week handover with the guy I was replacing. And they show me the projectors, and they're these great big giant things like 8 feet tall, made in Germany, and 35 millimeter films. And there's all these different gears and stuff, how you have to lace it up. And they said, well, so I guess since you're probably used to the American projectors, you probably never worked one of these, right? I said, I'm used to the American ones, you know. And so they showed me how it all worked, and I just drew it. I drew a picture of the inside of the projector and measured how far each little loop was and stuff, and taught myself how to do it.
Oh, wow.
And ran movies.
Dang, so then what year was that?
It was in the early 80s.
Early 80s, okay.
And then I did things like, we had lecture artists on board, like we had, with Buzz Aldrin, second guy to walk on the moon.
Yeah,
he was on board for a couple weeks, and Omar Sharif, all these cool people.
Wow. So, okay, so then that was the start of it, and then you did it. You said you went to 100 countries, huh?
Yeah, approximately over, 30 years.
Around 100. So, I mean, it's tough. What's top 5 for you? Because out of 100.
Well, different things. I love ancient history, so Egypt would have to be number 1.
So, really, Egypt?
I'd like to go back there. I could spend 6 months in Egypt.
So Egypt, what's another one?
Let's see.
Or just one, it doesn't have to be.
Well, I like Portugal a lot.
Portugal, okay.
I spent a lot of time in Brazil. I've been 1,000 miles up the Amazon River.
Oh, Brazil, yeah.
It was nice.
How is Brazil? I heard, is it true that Brazil has the most beautiful women?
I don't know about that. I think Norway and Iceland probably have that.
I think so, yeah.
All the Vikings take the beautiful women, drag them back there, for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
There's nice women, and there's beautiful women everywhere.
Yeah. So, okay, so Brazil, what's another one you like?
I like Greece. I like Greece a lot.
Greece, okay.
Yeah, because ancient history again, the Greeks.
So it's mostly the history, or that's the main part of it?
Yeah, the history and the culture. I like culture.
What about?
I like Russia a lot, actually, too. I've been there many times. I had a great time in Russia.
Okay. What about some of the foods? What's some of the top foods you liked? Because it's a lot of countries. I mean, you pretty much ate food in at least once everywhere, right?
Yeah, I'm not a foodie though. Really, I'm kind of an American. Like I was on one cruise ship. I was the only American on the whole crew.
Wow.
And the only American beer they had was Miller Lite.
Oh.
And so I drank in like 6-month contract by myself. I drank every Miller Lite on the entire ship.
Oh.
And my last day, when I was signing off the ship to go on vacation, they put a Miller Lite, the last Miller Lite, on my desk and said, "This is the last one, for you." Since then, my taste got more sophisticated.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I wouldn't drink a Miller Lite if you paid me.
Yeah.
I drink nothing but foreign beers, like Miller Lite's a horrible beer.
Yeah, it is.
And I was missing out on all, because they had all this free beer on board. I could have had like all these nice German beers and whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, a stupid American drinking Miller Lights.
Yeah, they probably wanted you to drink. It was cheaper, right? Maybe.
Well, they're all free, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. So okay, so then. Well, then, what kind of beers do you like? Are you a beer drinker? Are you a beer
Yeah,
guy?
I like beer. I like the beer here. The San Miguel Pilsen is a very good beer.
Yeah, the San Miguel Light's actually a really good light beer.
Yeah,
I think.
it is. They both are. Both good beers. I like them.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, wow. So, okay, so you went to 100 countries. Okay, so then we'll kind of skip. I know that's a big thing. We'll kind of skip over that. I know you've talked about it a lot in your videos, You're working on the cruise ships and stuff, but... So then you kind of fast forward. So then you came here from Cincinnati, right?
No.
St. Louis or something?
No, well, I had a home in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, Louisville. Okay.
And then when I lost my house there, I went back on ships for a little while. And then, out of desperation, I came to the Philippines. And that's a whole story on my channel, too, about that.
Yeah. So, okay, so you came here. When did you actually get here?
2017.
Oh, you got here 2017?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then you were here for 2-3 years before you started your channel then, yeah?
Yeah, like 2 years, yeah.
2 years?
Yeah, Paul McGill, Old Dog New Tricks, he's the one that showed me how to do a YouTube channel.
So Paul was before you?
Oh, yeah, way before me.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you guys were the same time.
No, he was before me.
Because the first time I saw him was on your channel, and I didn't even know that he had a channel then.
Yeah.
And then I watched him later on, but...
Well, I was friends with him for a couple of months before I even knew he had a channel.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about, huh?
No, he just didn't talk about it. I mean, and he wasn't doing it for the money. He was just doing it for his,
fun,
I think, to document his life or whatever. And one day I was over at his apartment. He told me he had a YouTube channel and showed me. I go, oh, wow, I could do this.
Yeah.
I said, oh, you can make money doing this? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they, I don't know what it is. I generally don't tell people that I have, like just on the street, I don't really like to talk about it. And nothing weird. It's just, I just don't, I mean, if people, so. Yeah, so you started doing the YouTube then, and then, I mean, how long was the YouTube? I mean, let's just say first, what did you like about it? Was it?
Well, it tied into some of my skills. I'd done radio, I'd done TV, I'd done theater. And so it was all, to me, very easy, you know.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable talking on camera, too. So
Yeah.
I just, and I got the idea of interviewing just regular guys.
Yeah. Which is a
And-
great concept.
Yeah. And so I just sat down, and the first guy I interviewed, I ended up deleting the video because he was lying about everything.
Really?
You know, he's like a wanted criminal. And he's actually on the run from the government, you know, the government here for some shit I don't want to talk
Really?
about. Yeah. So
Was
I
he
had to-
American?
No, he's British.
Oh, wow.
And I had to delete the video.
That's funny.
But it was an interesting story.
Yeah.
You know.
So, okay, so then when, how long did it take you before you, like, things started working?
I got lucky, but that's all because Paul helped me out, you know. It's like he promoted me on his channel. When I moved into Big Rock, I had 500 subscribers.
Okay.
You know, and Paul brought me on his channel, promoted me, and boom, I got 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in like a week.
Wow.
And so then it just took off from there.
Okay.
And then my channel was doing fantastic, you know. It was like 500,000 views, you know, per month.
Wow.
And then
It was mostly Americans or?
no, all over the world.
Yeah.
And then it got hacked and stolen. My old channel got shut down, and I had to start all over again.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
When was it
happened
in the
wa-
very beginning?
Yeah, I was just taking off. I had it for like a year and a half.
God
I kept getting emails for advertising, and one of them was from Levi's. I usually ignored them, but it said Levi's. That would be cool. I said, well, how much would you charge to put a 30-second spot on your channel? And I gave them a price. I don't remember what it was. And they said back, yeah, that's great, and we'll send you a sample contract and a sample ad so you can see what we want to put on your show. Okay, fine. They sent them to me. They said, oh, by the way, make sure you open it on your computer because it doesn't work on a cell phone. Okay, fine. So I go to my email and I click on it. Nothing happens. I click on it again. Nothing happens. I say, oh, forget about it. You know. And then so the next day I get all these emails and these phone calls. Mark, what happened to your channel? Where's your YouTube channel? I go, what?
Damn,
My channel's
son of a
gone.
bitches, man.
Channel's
Yeah.
gone. And they had taken over my channel, taken over my Google account, and turned it into selling fake crypto. And then, of course, YouTube, when you do that, they send out a warning, then they shut you down.
Damn.
And so the whole channel was shut down. And I know what I'm panicking because this is my money. This is how I survive.
Yeah.
And so Paul, again, helped me out. He said, go on Twitter. I never used Twitter in my life. So I went on Twitter and just kind of said what happened. Can anybody please help me? And just by sheer luck, a guy that works at YouTube actually responded to my tweet and said, okay, tell me what happened. I told him, you know, as briefly as I could. He sent me a form to fill out. I filled out the form, sent it back to him. And then like 2 weeks later, I'd get like a video would come back on my channel. Then another one and another one.
Wow.
Over like several months' time. And, but I wasn't in the logarithm anymore.
Yeah, you lost the rhythm, yeah.
I lost the momentum. It was
Yeah.
gone. And my revenue went from like what it was down, like lost by 90%.
Oof.
Even though I got the channel back, I was down 90%. I never made it back to where I
Yeah.
was, never. Even though I only had like 10,000 subscribers then, I got 65,000 now. I was making more money then than I'm making now.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, when I first started doing mine actually started taking off. I had an old channel in America that I had just a little bit, but they were connected to the same email.
Yeah.
And long story short, I was trying to delete my old channel. It was right when I came to Asia. I was in Indonesia, and it started taking off because there was nobody there
Yeah.
yet. It was still after COVID.
Yeah.
And I was trying to delete my old channel, but it deleted both of them. And I was like, oh man, it was like that. I think I had like 1,000 subscribers, but I was getting like, my videos were instantly getting like 10,000, you know, views. Like it was on the
good.
high projector.
That's good,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like, I was getting like 300 views an hour. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot then. So anyways, it deleted, and then I got it. But luckily it just had gotten big enough to where you literally can just like
Reload it or
reload
whatever.
it essentially. It's just a crazy process, but it's messed up the algorithm. So yeah, it was annoying. But anyways, yeah, damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now I don't have any advertisers at all.
Yeah, it's tough because
That's the way to make the most money, but it's like you have to be so careful. There's so many scams out there, so many. I get them all the time.
Yeah, I'm almost positive someone hacked my email that I had on my YouTube before. Like the one to contact me, because obviously you want to do separate emails from your, you know. So, and because I couldn't get into it one day, and I was like, this is weird. So anyways, I don't really have much going on, but still it's annoying because I did have like Christian Filipino or whatever. They sponsor everybody, but at the time they were trying to sponsor me. So, all right, so then the YouTube. So then are things going with the YouTube? Are you still kind of?
Yeah, it's doing good,
Yeah.
still, but it's harder and harder every month. I mean, it's really so much competition.
I know.
You know, and like what you put out, the quality of stuff you put out, and the amount of videos you put out last month, do the same thing even better the following month, and you make less money.
Yeah.
So it's a constant, treadmill, trying to get, higher and higher. You're like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You just have to. You got to treat it like a job.
I
You
know.
really have to treat it like a job.
Yeah.
Like I try and think of something to put out almost every day if I can.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever do anything different? Like you'll try to go travel around, or?
No, I got a wife
Yeah,
and
you got a
baby, so
baby
I'm
now.
not traveling.
So
I've been there,
yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
There's some other
Yeah.
businesses that I'm looking into that I can't talk about right now that are we're working on, but we'll see.
Yeah, because it seems like you do have a big enough audience to where you can leverage that.
Yeah, I
In
could.
some capacity,
Yeah.
not necessarily like from your viewers, but just since you're
Well, it is,
well-known.
yeah. But it's just I'm really protective of my subscribers,
Yeah.
and I don't want to try and sell them something unless it's something I really believe in.
Yeah.
So it's like other YouTubers have like a product that they use because they like that product. Then okay, fine, I'll promote that. But
Yeah.
it's like Christian Filipina tried to get me to sponsor, I'd be a sponsor, and I just didn't feel right about it because I'm not a real religious person. I felt it's kind of hypocritical.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know they got everybody now.
They got everybody, yeah.
They got. So what did they? You don't have to say the amount, but did they offer you just like a dollar amount, or was it
It's
a commission?
different with
based?
everybody. It's like somebody signs up for what do they call it? Kind of what they call it. They
Like affiliate.
No, you sign up their website, for the program, whatever, to be fixed up with Filipinas, Christians,
Yeah.
and they charge you a fee to join. I don't know what the fee is. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And so if you get a commission off that, like
Yeah.
$100 or something.
Yeah.
But with me, I said I wouldn't do that. I said I wanted a set amount, and they gave me a guaranteed amount, which is quite generous. They paid me $100 for a phone call one time. And anyway, I just once I saw what they want me to do and what they want me to say, I just said, no, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I turned it down.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite cities in the Philippines? So you obviously been in Dumaguete. Have you traveled around the Philippines?
A little bit, not as much as some guys. I like, I like BGC in Manila was nice. We spent some time there.
Yeah, it is nice.
Cebu's just too chaotic for me. You can't drive over there. I actually have to go there in a couple of weeks for my visa. I got to drive over there. I don't want to fly, but I like Dumaguete. I like Bacong where I'm at now.
Yeah, Dumaguete. Yeah.
I'm happy here.
It is nice here. It is. It is nice here. Maybe, I'm trying to think of one more thing I can ask you to kind of wrap it up.
You'll think of something on the way home. That's what I do.
Yeah, I know it's tough because my battery's about to die. Anybody who's made it this long, I guess we'll just use the generic kind of. What do you recommend guys coming straight if they're gonna come visit or come out to the Philippines straight to Dumaguete, or maybe see a different city?
Well, it depends on their financial situation. If you got the money, travel around the Philippines and see what you.